Hi there, I'm John from CNCKing.com, and today we'll do another production run including some combination banks. So what are combination banks? Combination banks mean you have more than one element making up a bank. In this case here, we have two. These are 10 inches tall. Just to give you a reference, this is what an 8-inch tall bank looks like. So again, it's 2 inches taller, but it's also 2 inches proportionally larger. So a combination bank means that we can have multiple banks all hooked up to each other. So you can see here they're connected. So think about, weddings or special anniversaries or things like that. They want to have a custom bank and you want something that sort of goes together, and this is what you end up with. Because we make everything in the shop here custom to order, we can also sort of combine any sort of aspect of a bank that you want. What I mean by that is these are 10 inches tall, so if you wanted this one to be 10, this one to be 12, or you wanted this to be a dinosaur and this to be a bird, or whatever. And also you're not limited to just two. You can have as many as you want. You can also go tall. So that's something I want to really get into, customization. And another feature that we can also offer, because they're combination banks, this is not a good example of one, but we can also have it, here you have a separation, but we can also have them combined into a solid piece if that's what you wanted. And of course, we can also have, let's say you wanted this to be a block, we can then customize things from the inside. So every aspect of the custom bank is totally custom however you want. A common question I get on sandboxranch.com are the finishing options that we offer. So, we start off with red oak, and this is what red oak looks like when it's unfinished. And it looks fantastic. And this is what it looks like after tung oil has been applied. So again, it's the same red oak, but what the tung oil does is it accentuates the color and the contrast. So again, same wood species, same everything. This has tung oil, this does not. This is just raw. And the reason why I offer that is because a lot of our customers are actually woodworkers and they don't have the equipment to make a bank, but when they get a bank, they want to customize it however they want. And that includes finishing. So that's why I also released poplar on the website. So this is poplar. It's also a hardwood, but it's a softer hardwood. The nice thing about poplar is that it takes paint very, very well. The reason you go with red oak is because you want to show, the very, very strong grain pattern. It looks beautiful this way, but a lot of people don't really like that. They prefer to have something painted or more solid. And that's where the poplar comes in. So here's the poplar that's unfinished with nothing on it. Here it is with a layer of tung oil. So you can see it just accentuates the colors. Might be a little bit hard to see here. Let's make a better picture. So again, it just gives it a little bit of a darker and more contrast and saturation. Now, the nice thing about poplar is you can also sort of fake it and make it look like any other wood. So here we have cherry, and it's not actually cherry, it's actually poplar. So it goes from this here to this with a stain. Now, staining is not necessarily something you want to do with oak, because the reason why you like the oak is because of the strong grain and the contrast it creates. But with poplar, what you want to do is have something that's painted and have something sort of look like a different kind of wood. So let's say you have a log cabin and you don't want oak, everything you have in there is, let's say, black walnut or something else, pine or whatever, we can do it out of poplar and we can make that look like pine. Or we can make it look like zebra wood or whatever. It never really ends. We can also apply solid paints to it. So if you wanted this to actually just be black, poplar is a great way to do it. Red oak doesn't really absorb paint all that well compared to poplar, which just sucks it right in. A very common question I get from customers on sandboxranch.com is regarding sizing. They don't quite understand why the pricing is the way it is because something's just taller. And this is a good example of it. The customer originally ordered 8-inch tall banks, and when they received it, they loved the banks, but they said, well, we want it to be bigger. So the next option up is 12-inch. So here you can see, you get an idea of the difference. So it isn't just, here's the 8-inch, obviously, they're side by side. It's roughly the same thickness. And this is 8-inch, this is 12-inch. There's a massive difference. Now what you notice is it's not just 8 inches taller or 8 inches wider, it's 8 inches proportional, which means that there's 50% more surface area, 50% more of everything. The only thing that's the same size is the screws and the thickness of the material. Now, of course, here for the acrylic, again, it's the same thickness. We could go thicker. We could customize that to, whatever degree that you want. Now, the nice thing about having a taller bank is, as you can see, you can hold a lot more coins in it. And that's the issue that the customer had. They said, this is a great bank, but we're scared we're going to fill it up pretty quick. So the 12-inch fits perfectly. Let's take a look at the other letter. So here's P. Again, these are the rounded bank series. Let me get my hand out of the way. So again, there's a massive difference, and they're the same distance from the camera. So everything being equal. And then we have one more here. Now I already sold the one that was popular for this size B. So this is actually red oak. So it gives you a little comparison. So here you can see red oak versus poplar. This is poplar, this is red oak. This is 8-inch, this is 12-inch. So of course, we make these all on demand. So that means, let's say you wanted something to be 50 inches. You wanted something to be, out of steel. You wanted something to be, 9 3/4 inches tall for some reason. That's maybe your favorite number. We could do that for you just as easily as these ones here. Again, having something made on demand when we get the order in means that we can customize every aspect of these banks just for you. Now, if you have something sort of a custom requirement or a request, it's better to contact me first before proceeding with your order, because then there might be some other things that we need to figure out that won't fit on a standard size bank. We finally had a situation at sandboxranch.com where the child actually broke the front of the acrylic on our custom banks. Now, I always knew that was a weak point with the banks because it is acrylic, but it is a very cost-effective way to do the front window. Another option would have been glass, but it's more expensive and you definitely don't want that breaking on a child. And the other option is polycarbonate, which is this. Now, you don't see a lot of polycarbonate around in the sort of consumer area. You see them on custom, these kind of glasses here that you see in a shop. This is polycarbonate. And the reason why that's polycarbonate, not acrylic, is because it can't shatter. You can smash this specifically, this is polycarbonate. You can smash this with a hammer all day. It's not going to shatter on you. Acrylic, you can throw it on the floor and it will shatter. So that's a big difference there. It's really, really thin as well. So the acrylic we have on sandboxranch.com is 1/8 inch. Anything thinner is just too fragile. Anything thicker is just more expensive. Again, I'm trying to make these products as cost effective as possible because I want to bring in a bit of custom to everybody's life, and that doesn't just include the super rich people. So here what I have is polycarbonate. It's got the masking still on there, as you can see. When you cut polycarbonate, you end up with like a nasty yellowing, and that's why you leave the masking on that. So I'll just take that off right now. But before I do, I just want to show you the etching that's done. With polycarbonate, you can have any color you want as long as it's black. In this case here, I etched the front of it, but I could have also etched the back of it. I'll show you what the difference is right now. So I'll just take off this masking. I put a little bit of masking tape on there just because some of the masking that was on there before was relatively easy to come off. So here's what Alpha looks like on the front. So it's got the texture of, honestly, just grip tape. If you did any, if you did any skateboarding or that kind of stuff and you put grip tape on the board, this is exactly the same feeling that it has. It's done with a laser, so that means it will never fade, crack, or peel. We do a lot of it here in the shop at my main company, CNCKing.com, but it's for mostly industrial processes. So let's say you got a big machine running, and if something goes wrong, some parts are gonna go flying. This is what you want to protect you. And generally we actually do thicker things, but again, I'm trying to make things cost effective for the website. So here's the front. So you can see it's a little bit of a grayish. I'm trying to get the texture so you can see it on the, there we go. So you can see the texture on the etching, and here's the back. So it's pitch black. Now when it comes to making this kind of stuff here in the shop, it doesn't matter if we etch the front or the back. It totally depends on the aesthetic that you want to have for your bank. But if you have a really, rambunctious kid and he likes throwing stuff and, stuff falls on the floor, all these kind of things, I overbuilt the banks on purpose. That's why they're nice and thick in the back and they're heavy. And I leave, a 1/2 inch margin all the way around on the smaller ones. And again, that's overkill, but I know these are children and I have a child as well, and I don't want something breaking on them. But if you have really tough kids, polycarbonate is the way to go because you literally cannot break this unless you really, really try hard, and that means machinery. So how do you go about getting your custom bank made by sandboxranch.com? The easiest thing to do is go to the website, sandboxranch.com. You have the alphabets there, you have the shapes there, and that's by no far the limitation that we can offer, because really the options are completely endless when it comes to what we can do. If you see an image or a font or sorts of symbolism or that kind of stuff that you'd like to have a bank made out of, it's better to contact us first on the contact form and then tell us what you want, and then we'll just go from there. Again, your finishing options are endless. The sizing, the shape, the thickness, every aspect of it is totally customized to whatever you want to do. Also the volume. So, we can make one like this, or we can make 1,000 like this. And we can all make them different sizes, different shapes, whatever. So whatever you want, we can make for you at sandboxranch.com.